Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Elliot Hamilton.
Yes.
What's in a name, dude? That's a great fucking name. Is that your real name?
That is my real name. It's very, very Anglo-Saxon name right there.
Well, to me, it sounds like you should already be famous with a name like that.
I know. I wish it was all in the name. It looked fantastic on a poster. Lots of good consonants, lots of straight lines.
What's just I don't know, man. Something about certain names, when I hear them, I'm like, oh, this guy's got it. And it's the name, you know? It's nothing, like when people actually hear the comedy that you do, then it's like, okay, this guy earns the name.
I hope so. I don't honestly know what people think of my comedy. I haven't been doing it, I guess, for long enough.
How long have you been doing it?
I think I'm in year 3 now. I don't count the pandemic, so I guess it would technically be the 4th year, but I took about a year off.
Yeah, no, I think no one should count that.
Yeah, I did maybe one mic during the pandemic in Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. It was horrible. It was one of the worst nights of my life, so I'm glad I took the year off. I don't think I missed out.
Did you find yourself actually working on your material, though, while you were taking the year off?
No. I wish I had. I mean, right when the pandemic started, when we thought it was going to be 2 weeks, I was like, right. Oh, everyone was like, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to write like an hour special. When this pandemic's over, I'm going to have like a whole hour. And then like 1 week in, I was writing a lot of stuff. And then, like I lost my job and then you just got depressed. And then, yeah.
Like no one realized how, I think everyone thought, oh, it's going to be a fun vacation. But it's like, no, when you're stressing about money and there's literally nowhere for you to go work because they're shutting jobs down. It's like, what do you do?
Yeah, it was the least fun vacation of my entire life for sure. Yeah. I just really enjoy thinking about how much optimism we had though when it first started.
Yeah.
Like I really thought I was going to write an hour of material, but then 4 weeks in when I have no job and I'm just like in my room.
What do you think you have? You think you have an hour? Like, I'm just going to say this. Okay. I see a lot of the comedians that come through here. Mm-hmm. You are really fucking good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I can't write comedy at all. I can't do comedy. I tried it one night and got almost booed off stage. The only reason they didn't boot me off stage is because they all knew who I was. So they just made fun of me after it. But you're really freaking good. It's your delivery and everything, your professionalism when you're on the mic. I mean, you have a good... You have it.
Cool. I mean, I don't know how to take compliments, but I appreciate that.
It's okay. I know how to give them.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm the same way. I can't really take them, but I can give them really good.
Yeah. I enjoy giving compliments, but I don't like it when I know I appreciate that. I mean, I try and do it like 3-4 times a week. Mm-hmm. It's good to hear someone say that because you never actually know if you're doing the right thing or not. You're always a little unsure.
When a lot of these mics you guys are doing, you're seeing the same comics at the mic. So, I mean, they're probably like, some like might be kind of competitive for some of them. Mm-hmm, I understand. Sure. Seems like a very individualized art form.
Yeah.
Because you're on the mic by yourself. But at the same time, there are other people that want to be good.
Yeah.
So you're almost like competing, but you're not really.
Yeah, it's also a very small community. It's like being in a small high school in New Orleans. Like it's a good scene, but everyone knows each other really well. So it gets really tiresome. Even if you love comedy, you're just hearing the same stuff over and over, which is what you need to do to get better. Just work the same jokes, but you can't always be telling people they're doing a great job and they don't do the same for you. So I guess you just got to accept that.
Yeah. But, that's probably why some of those comics go on the road too, huh? So they can work out their material in other places.
I think so. I get very self-conscious coming. Like I bring new material a lot of times just because I'm like worried to bring old material. It's probably not a good mindset, but I just don't want to say the same things to the same people over and over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the only way you grow new jokes too, is like by bringing new material.
Yeah. Yeah. But it sucks when you bring new material and then it goes horrible and people just make fun of you outside. Like your comic friends are like, why'd you think that was going to be a good story? You're like, well, I didn't fucking know.
Yeah. Who does know? Like you see some of the professional comedians, like the big dogs, they get on stage and they say shit that bombs too, but that's what you do until you get good enough where everything that comes out of your mouth, like Dave Chappelle or Bill Burr, is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like those guys are ridiculous. I don't know how they even do it. They're fearless almost.
Yeah. I mean, well, you listen to Bill Burr's podcast Monday morning. Have you ever heard that?
Dude,
it's just him ranting into a microphone. And a lot of it isn't funny at all. It's just him ranting and rambling until he can find something he can sink his teeth into. So you realize even he doesn't, it's not like everything that comes out of his mouth is a golden rant. It's just that he has ranted and raved so much that he finds the things that he can really hit.
I think it's like a fearlessness thing, though, right?
Yeah, he's also not afraid to make the audience uncomfortable, which that's another thing that's tough for me. Mm-hmm. Many open mic comedians have no problem making the audience uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was kind of cool. The mic that Adam and them were doing, they were doing the hecklers mic.
Yeah, the caring helpers. That was a fun mic.
Yeah, that's just a cool concept to me.
It was cool.
Did the audience actually come and like participate and stuff?
There were some good audiences, and it wasn't so much that the audience was supposed to participate, but it was like Adam and Morgan sat on the side of the stage, and they were supposed to be giving you advice while you did your set. And
kind of like the Tony Hinchcliffe thing.
Yeah, a little like Kill Tony, but they kind of had like sort of a peanut gallery, like back and forth dialogue thing going, which was fun. And also they were under the guise that they were actually trying to help you out. Like Kill Tony, they're just roasting you.
I love Kill Tony so much.
I never really watched it, but they kind of pretended like they were there to help you, which was also a funny bit.
Yeah.
And then also, but it's weird. Like a lot of the times the audience was like confused. Like
they just wanted to come hear it. They didn't actually participate.
Some people didn't get that it was a bit that they were the caring helper. Some people were like, well, they didn't help at all. It's like, okay.
That's kind of like when Bill Burr went on Kill Tony. He was like, "Is this what we're doing?"
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a great one.
It was hilarious. But I mean, he actually tried to get some constructive criticism back to him, where Kill Tony and just roast those people.
I know. Yeah. I think the room burned down or something.
What?
Yeah, like there was a fire at the Silk Road, so they're not having the show anymore.
Get the fuck out of here!
I don't know if the whole restaurant burned down or they just burned that room down. I don't know.
Some comedian got mad and was just like, "Fuck this! I'm out." Burning the whole place down. How'd you get into comedy?
Well, I used to live down the street from Carrollton Station, and they have, I think, probably the longest running mic in town.
So you're from New Orleans?
I'm from Lafayette originally, but okay. I moved here about 10 years ago to go to Loyola. Mm-hmm. And I was like 2 years out of college, and I was always interested in comedy. And then, I don't know, someone kept mentioning to me that there was an open mic, and they're like, you should try it out. Like, you should try it out. And I did. And the first night I did it, it went really well, which is probably a little bit in my head. But also when you do a mic for the first time, you tell people it's your first time, they're a lot nicer to you. But either way, it went really well. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I was like, oh, I got to keep doing this because I'm awesome at this. But and then the very next time I went, I like bombed so bad that I didn't do it again for like 6 months. It's one of those things. I don't know what I came out and talked about. Something about baseball and the justice system. It was horrible. It's just like complete, like crushing silence. Yeah. And then I didn't do it again for like 6 months, but it was Carrollton Station. And this was probably the second or third mic I checked out in town. Because, I think Alex Curo was hosting it here at the time. Mm-hmm. But this was just like a fun place to try out new material, I figured out, because it's so silly in this bar. It's like just a weird vibe, and it's like great for trying stuff out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no threat. I've heard there's one mic that if you say the wrong thing, they'll like boot you from the bar or something. I don't know all the places you got mics at, but... That might happen at one or two mics. I'm not going to say which one. You're right. Yeah, you don't want to put them on blast. I don't want to put anyone on blast, but I could see that. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Now here we have a pretty friendly vibe. It's like we understand that you're performing on stage.
Yeah.
When you get off stage, if you carry that conversation into the bar, then someone might have a problem with you. But when you're on stage, I think it's fair game.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree. I don't know. This bar just has a fun vibe. What I like about this mic is that this is like one of the only shows where the mic will start out and there'll be like one or two people in the crowd for like 30, 40 minutes. And then you could go to the bathroom and come back. It's like standing room only in here. Mm-hmm. And you're like, where the...
Dude, there's been some nights where I think one night when Alex was hosting, it was literally this entire room was just packed full of people. Mm-hmm. He would stand up against this wall right here. There was one chick in here that night that was being unruly. And this is one of my favorite memories I have of open mic. This chick, I don't know what she kept saying, but every comic that would go up, she would just like roast these comics. And the comics weren't saying anything back to her. And finally Alex gets up and he just like goes directly at this chick. She gets up and leaves the room that she gets so like flustered. But I was like, that's his calling right there, man. Crowd work. Like he's such a good crowd worker just because he's got that like that fearlessness too about him.
He definitely sees doing open mics as like like kind of like a workout sort of thing. And that's the mentality I think you need to have. And then I need to work more too. But yeah, he doesn't care. He'll flame someone in a second, which is great. It's great for a host because the host needs to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm bad at being the bad guy.
See, that's why I like Pickle, because I feel like they have a very different dynamic. Like Pickles, he can pull an audience back.
Yeah.
So he's very nice. But he'll do so in a way that you're going to be like, why the fuck did I say that? Like, should I be angry at this guy? Or like,
well, yeah, even when Pickle says mean things, they sound nice to the audience. He can say mean things and then he just laughs.
What do you think that's about?
I don't know.
Is that West Bank in him?
Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of layers to Pickle. I don't know if I could peel them all back.
Very complex guy, yes. That's why I'm happy he's doing well.
Me too. Yeah. Let's just talk about how much we like Pickle here.
Oh yeah, we gotta get Pickle on. We gotta get you on Pickle's house too.
I'd love to do Pickle's house if Pickle's watching. Just shoot me a text.
Oh, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
So what do you like? You have like a special or something you want to plan on doing one day, or you just kind of do comedy just for fun, or like how does this work?
So where I'm at right now is I'm just trying to build material. My goal right now is to just have an hour of material, not to shoot a special.
Well, so I listen to like Rogan's podcast and I listen to Bill Burr. I follow these comedians around a lot. One of the cool things I like about these guys is they kind of tell you like the format they use. So I don't know if like other comedians use their same format or if they have like something different they're going on. Cause they say they work out their material at these open mics until they get like an hour of material and they have a solid hour that just crushes. Then they go and they film a special.
Yeah.
And once they get the special film, they scrap their material, start working on new material, and then try to sell the special.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much the formula?
I think that sounds about right. I mean, that's probably the formula if you're already successful. It's hard to say what the formula is to become successful. So, I can't really speak on that. But my plan is that I get an hour of solid material, and then I use that to just do shows and tour around and get my name out there, and then hopefully be able to shoot a special with the hour. But I'm still a long way away from that. So really, I just approach every open mic as like an opportunity to improve material, try out a new bit to add, and hopefully remember everything that worked.
Yeah. Dude, the stuff you had the other night crushed.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun night. Yeah.
So from Lafayette to New Orleans, I've been to Lafayette a few times. It's a pretty cool space.
It's fun. It's got an interesting culture. There's just really not a lot to do.
Right. It's like the third biggest city in Louisiana. Is that right? Or
yeah, it might be behind Shreveport. It might be number 4. But
okay. Yeah, forget about that place.
Yeah, there's probably like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, then Lafayette or Shreveport. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, you still have family in Lafayette?
Oh yeah, big Cajun family. A lot of people.
Y'all do the Mardi Gras celebration there, right? It's a little different from what we do here.
Okay, no, not in Lafayette. Lafayette is more like urban. We do like a parade like New Orleans, but we only have one major street we do the parade down.
But it sounds like you understand what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Then enlighten me.
So in the rural areas of Acadiana, the area, the tradition is that men kind of dress like women in these kind of elaborate, clownish, homemade costumes. And the idea is that you go around all day, ideally on horseback, and you go farm to farm or house to house gathering ingredients for gumbo. Like you go to a farm and you knock on the door and you like do a little song and dance and ask for like a chicken. And then the farmer goes like, I got a chicken, and like throws the chicken, and then everyone chases after it. And you're drinking Bud Light the whole day, just drinking all day. And then so you just ride around the country getting ingredients for gumbo. And then at the end of the day, everyone parades through town like Eunice or Ville Platte or little rural towns. And then you just make big gumbos and have a big party.
That's fun.
It's awesome. Yeah. I would love to do it, but it's like, it's a bit of a trek. You know what I mean? I don't really know what I do there. I guess you just go and watch everyone parade through town at the end.
Right. Why wouldn't you go around and collect the ingredients for gumbo? Do you have to like know the people or something?
I don't know. It does seem like kind of maybe like they do have kind of crews. Like this is going to be our squad. We're going to make gumbo. Like, I don't know how you get in on it.
Is it like a gumbo competition too? Or is this like,
I wish I knew. It's very mysterious what's going on. Like it's really mysterious what happens in little towns.
Oh, it's mysterious in New Orleans too. Trust me.
Yeah. In the outskirts of Lafayette, like really you don't know what's going on there. Yeah. It's much more French and kind of insular.
So I'm not from here at all.
Yeah.
Where I learned about this was some people came in the bar one night, and I wasn't in this bar. I was working on Bourbon Street, and they were telling me all the like stuff they do in these smaller towns for Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And one of the things they told me was chasing chickens. They didn't explain it to me that way.
Yeah.
They just said we chase chickens, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, "Oh yeah, we chase these chickens around." I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a clue what's going on right now."
I think that's like the big hit. Like, it's about making the gumbo, but that's the most fun part is the chicken chasing. So.
Now, it makes so much more sense when you're telling me this story than what that person was telling me at the time. Because I was like, I have no idea what you're even talking about.
We're just chasing them. Yeah.
Just chasing chickens. No, we're making gumbo. It makes sense. Another one of the things that I saw, and this might get a shot one day. But I bartended the Mardi Gras circuits.
Okay.
The Mardi Gras circuits are like the these ballrooms and these parties they do when Mardi Gras comes to town. And these things are very secretive too. So there's one, and I think it's got to be all tradition, right? And there are some things I can't say because I know that if we might risk our careers. But one of the craziest things I witnessed was there was one ball that would only allow men in a certain part of the facility. And I was like, so they had to hire male bartenders to come in and be in that area because they wouldn't even hire female bartenders. So I went in and I bartended this party, and it was all men down there. And they dressed in these weird fucking costumes too. And they go back upstairs, and it's where all the women are, and they prance around in these weird costumes. But it's like a ballroom thing. And it was such a weird festivity. And this happens like every year.
Did they dance around among the women?
I want to say the men just like paraded around the room in their little costumes and their masks and stuff. And like the women were sitting at the tables. Like, I don't understand.
I really don't understand all the ins and outs and why the things are done. It just seems like, from what I've always understood, it's like, it's just kind of fun to have men dress ridiculously once a year.
Yeah.
But there might be more to it, but that's really all I've gleaned.
No, it could be some of the same thing too. Some of the same kind of like situations. They just do it on a more upscale version. Instead of going around the farm and collecting ingredients, they just do it up in a ballroom. Yeah.
I don't know. You just try and get as many opportunities as you can to wear those costumes, I think, too, because they're all homemade.
Yeah. Well, so the people that were down there dressing, the rich men, I can only assume they were rich white men.
Yeah.
They
absolutely.
were just like, they were these guys, and they said, this is all we do all year long is make costumes.
Yeah. It's like a hobby.
Yeah. Well, that's their job, is what it said. They said, these guys pay us to make these costumes. We do this. This is our one thing we do.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And it was just,
for those of you out there who think maybe you're not doing something in life that's meaningful, just know that there are happy people out there who spend all their time making Mardi Gras costumes for rural men.
Yeah. But there's also the ones that make the beads.
Yeah.
Imagine the amount of jobs that would put out if they just stopped doing Mardi Gras.
It's incredible. Yeah. No, but I in Lafayette, you miss out on that because it's citified or something. It's more like here, but man, in the rural areas is where you get the real Cajun culture. And
there's a lot around that area too. Isn't there like a lot of small towns?
Oh yeah. I could name them, but
you said Acadia at one. I think
Acadiana's that's the name of the region. Just like
okay.
It's not like an official name of the region, but that's what people call Acadiana. And
where did that come from? Do you know?
So the Cajuns came from a part of Canada called Acadie. So Acadiana is like kind of an Anglophone way of saying Acadie, Acadiana. But yeah, like the far north of it is Ville Platte. It's like a triangle. It's called the Cajun Triangle. Ville Platte's the very north, Lafayette's in the center, and then the south you have like Erath, New Iberia, Jeanneret, all sorts of tiny towns that I could list them all, but yeah, whatever.
No one would know. Yeah.
No.
Now Alexandria, is that too far?
That's too far. That's not Cajun. And if people say they're Cajun from Alexandria, they probably moved there. I could say maybe they moved there.
Right.
But it's not part of Cajun country. Right. And, there are reality shows.
Oh, Andre.
Cajun this,
I hope
Cajun
you're listening
that.
to this, Andre. You're not a fucking real Cajun.
Well,
No, Andre's not a real Cajun. I heard you say it. Okay.
Who's Andre?
Yeah, he knows who Andre is.
Yeah.
He's the only listener we have.
You're not a Cajun, Andre. No, but I mean, geographically, you could be Cajun and be from Alexandria. I'm not saying that, but it's not in Cajun country.
Well, he's from what's by Alexandria? There's a little town.
Lecompte.
No, what is it?
I don't know.
I wouldn't know either. Yeah, I don't know any of these places.
It's just that's like where you get what you call North Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have Cajun people who live in Alexandria.
North Louisiana, South Arkansas. No one wants to be there.
No, absolutely.
Both of those places. Like, I'm from Arkansas. Yeah. I'm from North Arkansas though, where there's actually things
like Fayetteville, or you?
No, North East Arkansas, the other side. So we're Jonesboro.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's Fayetteville, Jonesboro, and Little Rock. And once you get past Little Rock, ain't shit.
No, I've been up there many times.
Yeah.
And I think even people from North Louisiana would agree with me.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be there.
It's soul crushing.
What, Shreveport's the big city up there?
That's the big city. Then Monroe's a city.
Yeah.
That's where Brandon Bruffett's from. He doesn't live there anymore. I wonder why.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Beautiful accent.
That guy's a different breed.
Honestly, I love listening to Brandon Bruffett.
So my God, he's so amazing.
We could thank Monroe for giving him that beautiful accent, but I would never go there.
Dude, that guy, he cracks me the fuck up.
Yeah.
I got to get him back on here.
Yeah.
No. He crushed it one night too. He was, the material he was doing that night, he sounded so depressed. And I was like, I don't know why, but this is so fucking hilarious.
No, he has great jokes. And it's just a matter of whether the audience wants to get on board or not. Because I think they're all really funny. But sometimes people, I think he's just legitimately depressed or something when he's doing a kind of a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes he's not bringing the biggest energy, but like.
That's what's funny about it. It's like he's saying shit and you're like, this guy might actually kill himself.
I know. I think some people are like, get concerned and you're like, no, it's jokes.
Yeah. That's
the other fun thing about comedy. Is sometimes the audience just doesn't understand what's going on at all.
Yeah, but you come to a comedy show. This is what I don't get about humans. Like I love human psychology.
Yeah.
You come to a comedy show, you got to understand that what's going on stage up there is an act.
Yeah.
Or I would think you would understand that.
Yeah.
But some people get so offended by it, and that could be the alcohol. They're out drinking, they're having a good time. Maybe they're in their feels too much when they're drinking. Mm-hmm. That could be one of the reasons. But I would still think if you're going to a comedy show, that it's all fun and games on stage. Yeah,
you should. And I also, I don't understand why people feel the need to participate. Like, I know sometimes the comedian wants participation, but people will just volunteer real information about their life to have it be destroyed by the comedian on stage. And you go like, you don't have to speak right now. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Don't you understand? They just want to take whatever you have to say and destroy you.
Or don't give them real information.
Exactly. People will like have an argument with the person on stage and you go, there's no need for this.
Well, and you're going to get crushed too if that guy's any good. Because this guy, typically these open micers, they're doing this 4 or 5 times a week. So, I mean, they're going to get good eventually at just like murdering audience members with their voices.
Also, the audience is bloodthirsty. They want to see you be shamed.
Oh, there was one night where Marcus was up here and he's like, do you mind if I just do 15 minutes? And I was like, okay. Cause like no one was in the bar. It was like 4 people in the bar. Yeah. And I was like, you just want to get up on stage and do something? He's like, yeah. So he went and he set the speakers up. There was 3 people sitting there at the table. I'm sitting right here at this table. And he starts telling these jokes and they're just like bombing. Uh-huh. And then I was like, dude, just start ripping into them. That's what I told him before the thing was you should just start murdering the audience members that are there. And he's like, I don't want to do that. So he told these like shitty jokes. And then at like 10 minutes in, one of the people's like, all right, he's like, I'm giving up. He's like, I'm done. And the person's like, hang on, before you go, can you roast me? And I was like, it's what they wanted you to do the whole time. Just fucking roast them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when it's a small audience, the only thing to do really, it's not like they're going to make enough noise to make it fun. Mm-hmm. So you just talk to them. Yeah, no, that'd be a fun thing to do right there. Just sit and shoot the shit with the audience members. Yeah, I think that's the best comedy is when the comedian makes the audience feel like they're having like a conversation. Or just like you said, the bloodthirsty aspect of it. Like, you remember was it Bill Burr on Philadelphia, or where was he at? Yeah, he was doing a show in Philadelphia and he just started ripping into the audience. Yeah. And that's what turned the crowd. I know. It's incredible. An incredible video. No, I think it's a big part of comedy is just a stage presence. If the comedian can get comfortable enough with themselves and they're on stage, the audience can smell that. Yeah. And like, okay, whatever this guy says, I'm into it. Yeah.
But when you get someone who's timid on stage, that's when they're like, okay.
No, the audience can feel it. The audience relaxes when you relax. They're like, okay, everything's okay because he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not okay, they're like uncomfortable. They're like, I don't know what's going to happen. Or yeah, sometimes if you implode, they can just feel it. It's nothing worse.
I think that's everything in life too. Like every situation you get into, people are going to react the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I bartended for so long that I could see these things. I can see it in other bartenders too. Like if we have someone in here who's a new bartender, like the people that are coming in the door can see that.
Yeah.
But you have someone who's been doing it, who's seasoned for, several years. They're going to come here and work this place.
Yeah. I mean, that's what all being a salesman is. It's just the confidence that whatever you're selling is it's what they want, whether or not it's just forgetting the part where like, oh wait, but maybe this isn't something they need. I shouldn't bother them. You're like, no, fuck it. They need to buy this.
Yeah. That's my secret in life right there.
Yeah.
I just go, I have this like overbearing amount of confidence in myself that whatever situation I get myself into, I can claw my way out of.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I just jump.
No, I wish I had that confidence. Like I worked in an auto shop. It was like a family business. And I worked with my cousin, and he's one of those people. He's not a mechanic. But like people would bring their cars in, and like the mechanic would be on a lunch break, and they go like, "Oh, I think I need a new timing belt or something. Could you check it out?" And then he'd just start taking the engine apart while they were inside. And I'd be like, "Hey, do you know how to like replace a timing belt?" And he goes, "Nah, but I got YouTube."
That's true.
And the engine's already apart. He's already dove right in. I'm like, you're crazy as shit.
So do you actually fix the cars though? Or did he just like fuck it up and wait till the mechanic got back?
He would never do anything too crazy. But yeah, like sometimes he'd be like, I got it. And you're like, holy shit, he's got it. And they'd bring the guy out. He's like, yeah, man, I just did this and this. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. Like thinking that.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes with building a network around yourself too. Because I know that whenever I do dive into things, if I do get myself in over my head, I'll call one of my buddies up who actually do it professionally.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I need your help. And like, what'd you do this time?
I think though most things in life are just a lot easier than you think they are.
Oh yeah.
You just have to have the confidence to know that when you're lost, you're going to figure it out. Like there's very few things like it's surgery. There's very few things that you're like, okay, this person needs like some kind of real training to do this.
Well, dude, surgery is so disgusting too. Like, I think that a certain person is meant for that job.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I could cut you open and deal with the gore that's inside of you.
No.
Like that prevents me from even killing someone too. I'm like, you know how messy this is going to be?
Gross.
This is going to be so gross.
It's true. You got to deal with it. They're going to like shit themselves.
Oh my God. That's a big thing about death too. Mm-hmm. When you die, you're going to shit yourself. So we had this weird theory one night. We were having this conversation about death. And I was like, so normally when you die, you end up shitting yourself because your body relaxes. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I forgot how this even went now. It was something like rigor mortis.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you die, your body then like you get real tight, right? Your muscles get tight.
Yeah.
So right when you die, if you loosen your butthole, okay, but then tighten all your other muscles, then your butthole, maybe it'll have the reverse effect. Maybe your butthole will tighten up.
Will permanently clench shut.
And then your body will loosen up. So you'll be like, you'll die the opposite.
You could probably start a religion based on that or a cult.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's what happens. Your sphincter right now is tight. So it's holding your feces in.
You could probably sell a self-help book about that or something.
Oh yeah. In your body, your muscles are loose. So, it has the opposite effect. So if you died the opposite direction.
Yeah. How to prepare for death. How to not embarrass your relatives.
Loosen your butthole.
When they find your body.
And tighten the rest of your muscles. What if that's even possible?
Yeah. I have no clue.
Well, so this is what I used to do on Bourbon Street. I would have these conversations like this with the clients that came in the bar that I worked at. Mm-hmm. And one night, just so happened that there were some doctors in there. And we were talking about it, and I didn't realize that there were two buttholes.
Explain.
So apparently there's the outside one.
Okay.
But there's also an inside one.
Ah, yeah.
So when the poop gets to the inside one, that's whenever you're like, okay, I got to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. You go in and you release that one, and it comes out of the outside one.
That's fascinating. Yeah. It's like a sphincter.
So the inner sphincter is the one that you're going to have to worry about when you die. That's the one that actually releases the poop.
Oh, shit. That's a lot to think about right now. What a great word. Sphincter.
Sphincter's nice.
But yeah, no, it would be gross to kill someone. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, I think so too. That's the only reason there are people still alive right now. I have gore.
Yeah. Good.
I really wouldn't kill anyone, Elliot. Yeah.
I have no idea what to follow.
He's like, who the fuck is this guy? He locked me in this room.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, when he came in, I was like, I'm locking the door now. You're mine.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, but I lock the door on every podcast.
Also, this is the first time we've ever talked before.
It is. So normally, a lot of people, or my one listener knows that I work here. Mm-hmm.
Is that Andre from
Andre? And my mom probably listens to. Hopefully she hears this shit.
Yeah.
She's like, I raised this motherfucking psycho. Now, yeah, a lot of people see me around here, but I don't really walk in the bar and just be like, yo, I run this place.
Yeah, I've seen you a lot. I recognize the green bandana for sure.
Yeah, I think that's how I introduced myself to you. I was like, hey, Elliot, I'm the guy that wears the green bandana. You want to come on the podcast?
Yeah. See, the thing about Another Bar, if you don't know, it seems like one of those places when you come in that it's almost like the employees killed the owner and they've just kind of been running the place. Like it has that vibe. Like you don't know who's in charge. Everyone's just floating around. You're like, who's the bartender? And the employees also just will watch the show or hang out outside. Sometimes put themselves on the list, like Sharky used to do that.
Yeah, Sharky used to do that. Yeah,
and yeah,
that's the kind of vibe that I like at a place. Like I've worked at, like I said, bars on Bourbon Street where they're like, you got to be here the whole time. There's a structure to how we do things, and it's like, yeah, but no one wants to fucking be there.
Yeah,
if your employees want to be there, then it's going to make the customers want to be there. That's my whole thing is like the vibe of the business is what makes people come back to it.
Yeah, 100%.
So I want the bartenders to be happy. And then therefore they'll make the customers happy.
Who does own this place?
So the actual owner is the owner's always a wealthy man. Cause it's a lot of risk and involving in owning a place like this. And also the buy-in aspect of it. But the person who used to own it, lives down the street this way. The new guy who bought it over the quarantine, the pandemic, he lives down the street that way. Still a very wealthy Jewish guy.
And it doesn't matter that he's Jewish. We're not going to hear talk about that.
Oh no, I guess I shouldn't say that, huh?
Some Jew kid bought this.
No, the guy owns it, like most of the street though.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. That's usually how these things go.
But no, he's one of those guys that just kind of works behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you won't see him here rarely ever. And I like that too, because once again, if I'm happy, I'm going to trickle down and my employees are going to be happy.
Yeah. But it's like the thing was, I always wonder, like, does this guy work here? Is he like a regular? Because it's like
me?
Like the bartenders come in, they just hang out sometimes.
Yeah.
Colin comes, he'll just hang out and chat with people. So yeah, no, it is a fun vibe in here.
Yeah, no, my thing is, and the cool thing about the owners that we have, since they are wealthy, they're like, if it's making money, who cares?
Yeah.
So they pretty much this bar makes money, so they stay out of the way.
No, that's the best. That's the best ownership.
They let me play with the artists. Mm-hmm. They let me do cool things like with all you guys. And and everything that I do kind of grows my skills as an artist as well. So yeah, it's a good time.
Do you play music?
No, I don't do music. Yeah. Okay. This is like the media stuff is what I do. So film type stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why I keep asking these comedians. I'm like, have you ever thought about filming a special? Because like we have all the equipment that we need to do this. We just need.
Would be an interesting little special here.
We wouldn't do it here. We'd do it somewhere else. Yeah. No, we would make it legit for sure.
Okay.
But I mean, this place is fun for working out material, but I don't think it's a special.
It could be kind of fun as like maybe a YouTube special or something. I mean,
did you come through the night that Marcus and Mike Hall did their thing?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so. That night we actually filmed for the comedians that came through too, because we had some cameras and stuff set up, but we didn't go full blast because some things popped up. But it was a packed out room that night, so I mean I think it actually could be set up for that.
I mean, if your concern is not like making it look like a traditional comedy show, I think it could be fun. It could be something that stands out. I mean, it is a fun vibe in here when it's like standing room only. Mm-hmm. And you have people in all these rooms, so it's a little chaotic.
That's the thing, the sound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that'd be the only issue that we would have. And that's kind of what we had the other night. We mic'd up the comedians, so it was a little bit better. But I still think, I don't know. typically for the special, because I've actually heard them talk about how they film specials too. Never done one, but I've heard them talk about it. And I think it's Bill Burr that was talking about this. He said what they typically do when they do a special is they'll have 2 to 3 shows in one night.
Yeah.
And then he'll go in for the first crowd that gets there, and they'll do the show, the whole show. Then he'll go in and do a second show and a third show, and he'll do the exact same things just in case he fucks up on a joke in between there, and they can cut between those different specials.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until recently either. But also they'll just, sometimes I think they just will do a joke and then fuck it up and then just be like, hey guys, I'm just going to redo that joke, which is crazy to think.
Yeah, that's the power of film.
Yeah.
Because you can just cut around everything.
Exactly.
So whenever I first started working in the medium of film, I realized that, typically when you see a TV show, you're like, oh, cool, this is how this episode is. And it's like, no, if you actually read the script for the way the episode was, it's probably totally different than the way the editor actually cut it together.
Yeah.
It's probably totally different than the way it was supposed to be filmed. Like a lot of times they'll storyboard these things, but when the final product comes out, it's way different than the actual script that was written. And it can go, it's like a guide basically. But even when the editor's cutting things together, the way he's cutting a scene together could change the entire vibe of the scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the timing of it and everything, just like comedians. Like you guys have to perfect your timing, which then allows the joke to hit all the good points.
Or one thing that was crazy that I learned that changed my perception of television is I found out that late night talk shows were all scripted. Like the interviews they do with people.
Really?
Yeah. To where like before they do an interview with say like, Robert De Niro's coming on to talk to Jimmy Fallon or something, they'll just go over everything they're going to talk about beforehand with the producer. And they come out and that's why everything's so like goes so smoothly. And I heard you were here. It's like he didn't just think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. We did this before he actually walked in too. I was like, this is the points we're going to hit.
This was heavily pre-interviewed.
Yeah. No, he has a script in his pocket actually.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense on shows like that. And I'm sure they cut things out of those shows too.
Oh yeah. And also it's like a sitcom where they have like little cards, like applause.
I wonder if they're still doing a live audience. Are they still doing those?
I think they're back to live audiences.
Okay.
They must be back to live audiences, but who knows? One
of the coolest things I ever saw was SNL. Like we actually got to go and tour the behind the scenes.
Like a live taping?
We can get to see live taping, but because if you actually see the facility that they do SNL in, it's like as big as this bar.
Oh shit.
Literally, that's all it is. SNL's studio, and they have 3 different stages set up, and they just rotate the stages as the show is going through.
Yeah,
it's so wild. And then this backside is like all audience.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where the audience is, and you maybe get like 100 people in their studio, and the 3 stages set up across there, and then it's amazing what they can actually pull off with that little bitty space.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about SNL is I think they do actually shoot it live. I mean, it's in the name. That's probably the dumbest thing I said on the podcast, but
that's okay.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
When you think about how canned everything else on television is. That's why it also it bombs so often.
Yeah.
But that's also what's cool about it. I like that it bombs because, when it's good, it means it's actually good.
So it's so fun for the audience whenever it bombs. And even the viewership, if you're watching it on TV. I saw a cool thing here in New Orleans. It's kind of like that, but it's they did a play. They actually did The Exorcist when I was watching it.
Okay.
And the actors, they had clear bottles of liquor. One of them had water in it. One of them had gin in it. One of them had vodka in it. So you never knew which one you were picking up. And these were along the stage. So throughout the whole like performance, they would reach over and grab these bottles and like take a shot of them. And you never knew what expression they were going to have. Because, awesome. There's some people that they would just get the water and be fine. But they were also like smoking weed and stuff too. The actors were. So you never knew what was going to happen on the performance. And we went to the second showing of The Exorcist one time. Dude, I laughed my ass off so hard because there were actors that couldn't remember the lines.
They were all fucked up at that point.
Yeah, because it's the second showing. They already got fucked up on the first one. Couldn't remember their lines. Like the audience members were participating by feeding them their lines because people have seen The Exorcist. It was the most fun show I've been to in New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever been to Stone Drunk Sober?
No, but I've heard about this.
That's a great comedy show they have in town where it's just one team is stoned, one's drunk, one's sober. I love stuff like that because it completely takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
Unless you're sober, it's like the teams just go up and they do their material, and the audience knows that.
Oh, it's not like a battle or anything?
No, well, they vote at the end to see who did the best. But sober always loses.
Really?
Yeah, because people hate sober. They're like, fuck you, you should have drank something. You know?
See, I would think that your material would be crisp if you're sober.
Oh, yeah. But the people are just mad that you're sober. People just don't want you to be sober.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing.
Have you ever done it?
What, being sober?
No. I'm sure you've been sober before. Yeah. Have you ever done the drunk sober stuff?
Yeah, this is ever clear in here.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever done the drunk sober stone thing first?
I have done that. I've been on team drunk. I've been on team drunk once, and I've been on team sober one time.
And you won?
I lost both of them. I really lost on team sober though.
Yeah.
And on team drunk, I will say, I'm going to blame my teammate. My teammate really torpedoed me. I mean, he did. Poorly.
No, so I never question what's in people's mugs anymore. I forgot who, one of the comedians was on here one time, and I said something to him, and he's like, no, there's vodka in it. He was drinking something, and I was like, is that just straight grapefruit juice? He's like, no, there's vodka in it. And I was like, it's 9 a.m.
Yeah, this is when you learn when people have legitimate problems. It's like, and that's not fun.
As soon as I said it too, I was like, it's 9 a.m. I was like, fuck, why did I say that? Like, oops.
Shouldn't have brought that up. No, this is just coffee. You can tell because this mug says coffee only.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
And sometimes whiskey. It's one of those things like someone gives you a gift and they're like, dude, you're going to love this. And you have to be like, ha, ha, ha.
You know, the craziest part about him having just a coffee mug is that he also brought a second mug in with him.
I also have water.
Oh, so one's got water in it and the other one's just straight vodka.
I drink water very impulsively. So I just always have some.
It's smart. It's good to stay hydrated. Yeah. Keep your skin nice and fresh.
And the coffee is making me really thirsty.
Keep your skin nice and fresh when I take it off.
The doors are locked.
What was that? Somebody's going to tell you. Oh my God. Oh yeah. So we had these musicians on a while back. I never drink on the podcast because whenever I start drinking, my brain starts shutting off.
Oh yeah. I would take a nap.
Yeah. But one day to get these guys on the podcast, he's like, I'm going to tell my buddy that it's a drinking podcast. I was like, okay, it makes sense because it is a bar. So he tells his bandmate that it's a drinking podcast. And come on, we have booze here. We actually had a fucking fifth of tequila here. And it was wild.
He actually drank the tequila.
We all drank the tequila. And then at the end of it, we were like, this is not a drinking podcast. He's like, you son of a bitches. It was fun though. It was a good time.
Yeah, I work at a restaurant. You see some of that. We have a lot of tourists come in. The other day I had a guy come in. He was like, I want a double tequila neat.
Okay.
I was like, I don't want to serve you that. Like, I don't know.
You couldn't even serve it to him?
No, I served it to him.
I was gonna say.
I want that tip. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, double tequila
I'll
neat.
give your baby vodka.
I mean, if he did like 3 of those,
then it'd be concerning.
Yeah.
The neat part is what got me because tequila is not a neat drink to me.
Right. Some people enjoy the flavor of it.
Yeah, at 11 a.m.
Yeah. So like I said, I have a buddy from Ecuador and he goes out one night, he orders 2 shots of some tequila. One for me, one for him. And I was like, you don't want a lime or anything? He's like, no, you Americans don't know how to drink tequila.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. I just shoot this shit. I try to get it down as quick as possible. That way it doesn't hurt. And he's like, no, you got to savor the flavor.
Yeah.
This guy, like, he takes the tequila and like breathes in or something when he drinks it. When he said that, he said it cuts whatever he did, he said it cuts the like bad aspect of it. The like burning.
To breathe it in.
Breathe in or like breathe out, one or the other. I can't remember what he said. Because I was like, I'm never doing that.
No,
I like drinks that taste good.
No, me too.
Yeah. What is your drink of choice?
I'm a beer guy. If we're getting fancy, if I'm trying to look fancy, especially, I'll get like a neat bourbon. I'll do that because I've learned to enjoy the taste of bourbon.
I think if you can enjoy the taste of beer, then you can enjoy the taste of bourbon. See, like for me, no alcohol does it for me. The only beers that I like are like sours.
Okay. No, I like the taste of beer a lot. I don't know, like a High Life or something. I mean, it's all acquired. It's like when you're a kid and you first try beer and you think it tastes horrible. That's what beer tastes like. But it's fun after a few.
Yeah.
And like, this is the best one. This goes down the smoothest.
Right.
Yeah.
The champagne of beers.
I love the champagne of beers.
I saw this thing yesterday. It was a TikTok my buddy sent me. He's been trying to find a drink that he likes. Mm-hmm. He's not a big fan of beer either. But he doesn't know, like, he's from Arkansas, so he doesn't like have this like plethora of beers that
we got
here.
Bud Light, we got Bud Heavy.
Yeah, that's what he's got. So he found this thing the other day, and it was a guy took a Miller Lite, and he puts Mountain Dew in the Miller Lite. Mm-hmm. Have you tried this?
No, but I can see it.
Dude, the guy, he's like, it's amazing.
Sounds awesome.
Miller Lite and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate coming from a smaller town to a bigger town. It's just such a nice perspective. It's because it's really just a lot simpler in small towns, not even in a bad way, but like people just don't get like, there's not a bunch of craft breweries and there's not a bunch of like bougie little restaurants, and people just enjoy what they enjoy and they don't even think. Yeah. Like you offer someone a beat of amber and they're like, what the fuck is this? Right. Like, give me another Miller Lite.
How, you said you're from Lafayette, but are you from a smaller town in Lafayette, or are you from Lafayette?
No, I'm from the very middle of Lafayette.
Okay, so it's technically not a small town then.
No,
right?
Not a small town, but it has a lot of small town. It has a bit of a small town vibe to it.
It does, yeah. I come from a town of 2,000 people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's about as small as you can get.
So Lafayette's the big city.
Yeah, for me, yes, Lafayette would be a big city.
It just retains a lot of the qualities of a small town.
No, I can see that. Like, I've been to Lafayette enough now that I understand that if you want to raise some kids, that'd be a good place to raise kids at.
Yeah, it's very chill.
Yeah, no, you don't want to raise kids in New Orleans. I've seen what those people turn out to be.
No. It's so crazy. You go to Mardi Gras and people are pushing around strollers and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You know someone died here under this float?
They're like, yeah, sweet.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
You know, it was great. Of course. The cursed Mardi Gras before COVID. We didn't know how good we had it.
Oh my God, dude.
2 people got decapitated by floats. It was like, we thought that was the end of the world.
What? Like, how does that never get out? That's what I want to say.
I don't know. And the Hard Rock Cafe collapsed all in the same like 3 month period.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Hard Rock Hotel.
What is that? What even happened with that? Is it still there?
Well, they tore it down. It's just a big lot now. But it was like a flaw in the design process. So they were using bad materials they were in the early stages of construction. Just they didn't have good supports, and the floors just pancaked down on top of each other
and kill people.
Yeah, I worked down the street from it at the time,
and they didn't get the bodies out. Right?
They didn't get the 2 of the bodies out for months and months, and there was like a corpse hanging over Canal Street.
No,
this was pre-pandemic.
What?
Yeah. But no, I remember that. Shit, what the fuck? I had something to go off of.
We're talking about dead bodies.
The dead bodies, the children, the people getting decapitated by floats. Those were the good old days. I think that was going to be the point.
What? No, someone. You're talking about strollers, baby strollers at a Mardi Gras.
I don't know.
So there was I want to say it was this Mardi Gras, wasn't it? That someone got drugged underneath the float.
I don't remember that, but I guess that could have happened.
Yeah, and instead, because if you ever come to a Mardi Gras, if people out there listening, then you'll see that there's no way to actually stop a parade once it gets going.
No.
Like the streets are just packed with people. So what they had to do was after this person, might be hitting our camera. Oops. Sorry, Andre. But yeah, there's the one person got drugged underneath the float, and they ended up pulling the person out from underneath the float and started doing like trying to resuscitate the body, I guess, on the side of the thing. Mm-hmm. And they just kept the floats going. And I was like, there's really nothing else you can do in this point. Like, whoever made those decisions, they're thinking quick on their feet.
No, a big controversy when the people were decapitated was that they stopped the parade. This is sort of the vibe of New Orleans around Mardi Gras. And this is how dedicated people are to partying. Because I was working in a restaurant at the time. And I remember this Endymion was happening. This is one of the incidents. And someone was decapitated by a float, and they shut Endymion down. And
how does that even happen? Decapitated by the float? Did you hear the story about that? Or
I think they tripped going after a bead, and then the wheel just kind of, I don't know.
Okay, the restaurant though, what happened?
I don't want to get into that too bad. I don't want to make too many jokes about that. But I was in the restaurant, and some people come in blackout drunk, dressed all ridiculously, and they were angry. They just walked up to our head chef, who's like a good old New Orleans boy. So he's got lots of New Orleans friends. And they're like, can you fucking believe it? LaToya shut down the parade. And we're like, what happened? They're like, some fucking idiot got decapitated.
Oh my God.
People in New Orleans, it's like you'd think people would be concerned, but they were just angry that the parade was shut down.
Yeah.
LaToya, shut the parade down.
Living La Vida Loca, baby.
Yeah. That'll happen, I guess.
Anytime you get large groups of humans together, something's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Bound to happen badly.
Something bad is bound to
Something
happen.
bad is bound to happen. There we go.
I will say it does seem hard to get run over by a float. You have to be going for something under the float, which is what happens.
Yeah.
People want to grab a football and they trip.
Yeah. Well,
They're going very slow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going so slow. It's like, how in the fuck? Like you must have really had to try.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to really try to like die under a float.
Let's add one of those plastic spears or something.
So what's next for you, Elliot Hamilton? God, that's a great name.
Oh, thank you. My middle name is Brumby.
Elliot Brumby Hamilton.
It's the most wasp name I think you could ever think of.
Brumby.
Which is funny. My mom is Cajun, but she somehow allowed me
What
to be
is that?
named like I grew up in the Hamptons.
Is that a Cajun name? Brumby?
No, it's British. All my names are British. All three.
Brumby. I've never even heard of that.
It's I'm named after my great uncle.
Sounds like royalty.
Brumby. It's a family name.
Elliot Brumby Hamilton.
Brumby Hamilton. In a month I'm actually moving to New York. So
You're making the trip?
I'm making the trip. That's what's next for me. That's really all that's on my mind.
Yeah, there's quite a few comedians that are actually moving to New York right now.
Really? Who?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say names right here because I don't want to like jinx them.
No, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of moving in silence.
Maybe they listen to all of this and they're gonna tell me after I ask.
No, I'll tell you after we get out the podcast.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, because I don't want to like put their business out there.
No, that's great. Don't do that.
But yeah, there's quite a few of you guys that are moving. Is there any particular reason to pursue comedy more, or just like
there's just a lot more comedy going on? It's not even the quality. Like I visited New York and been to open mics, and you go like comedy is the same everywhere.
Yeah,
especially open mic comedy. It's bad everywhere. But there's just more of it to do, and there are more shows to get booked on and more people to meet. And it just seems like a great place to go and get better at comedy.
Yeah, especially while you're young.
Yeah. I'm getting older every day, so I figure I better just do it now.
Yeah, you still look like you're in your early 20s, so
27.
Yeah.
But yeah, still not 30. I feel like once you're 30, well, not gonna
say it.
Throw shade on anyone. No, it's just like, to me, when I'm 30, it feels like a milestone. We're like, okay, maybe I should settle down or something.
Oh, screw that. Never settle down.
That's true.
Yeah. Listen from a man who's over 30.
Yeah.
Never fucking settle down.
It doesn't really seem like there's any reason to.
No, you get one chance on this at this life. Fucking roll the dice forever.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, moving to New York just because I want to look for more opportunities. I also act, so there's a lot of more film shooting there. There's lots of film here, but there's
more opportunity in big city. Makes sense.
It's all there is to it.
Just make sure you offset it with the opportunity and not just work the whole time.
That's true.
Because the cost of living is way expensive. This is my whole reason for not wanting to like move to a really, really large city. Mm-hmm. Because cost of living would be through the roof, and I'd rather work on my craft than work for my rent.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Is I'm gonna have to balance the soul crushingness of my employment versus getting better at comedy, doing as much comedy as possible. But I know people who live in New York. Everyone says like, oh, it's going to be tough living in New York. It's going to be expensive. But I know lots of people who live in New York where I go like, if they're living there, I could live there. Yeah. There's 7 million people there.
We have an actor buddy who just moved there. It was kind of the same way. We're like, we'll see if this guy makes it. But he's doing well there. Yeah. Like, I think it's possible. That's why I say roll the dice, man. Just go for it. Like you'll figure out where you want to be. And for me, New Orleans is where I want to be.
Oh, I love it here.
Yeah. I've just like, I've been enough places. I've seen enough of places now that I know that this is it's a medium-sized city. Mm-hmm. You can get around it pretty easy. I don't know. I love it here, man. The people are awesome.
The dream is to come back here. The dream is to have like a condo in the French Quarter and come back and throw parties.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I just want to go to New York and see what happens, really.
What do you got? You got a time frame on your move?
September, beginning of September.
Nice. Really coming up then.
Yeah. I have officially moving out, so I better find a place to live.
Yeah. So oh my God, where was I going to go with this? Oh yeah. Where can the people find you at?
Well, right now, the most active I am on social media is Instagram, at definitely Elliot Hamilton, 1T on the Elliot. And I started a Twitter, which it's ridiculous, but
why is that?
It's just because it's like Twitter. I feel like it's not a growing social media platform. I started one like about 10 years after I should have started one.
Well, I don't understand. Like there's so many people that follow Twitter all the time too.
It's true. Some people live on Twitter.
Yeah.
I just kind of use it like right now I'm just using it like a journal, and I'm hoping that that'll go somewhere. But it's at Def Elliot Ham on Twitter.
Kind of the same thing as your.
And I think I'm tweeting some fire.
Yeah, dude. Go follow this guy. He's got material that's amazing. I know for a fact you're gonna be something, brother. And
for my friends out there, I am going to video my comedy material. It's hard. I just want to make that clear to anyone who might be listening, because a lot of people I grew up with harass me. They're like, when are you going to put out video of your comedy? I will put it out.
But see, they believe in you too. Look at that.
They want to see it, but it's just hard. That's all. It's just a little more work than the comedy is hard enough. But I have plans to video my material and, try and put it out to hopefully gain more notoriety.
Dude, let me know if you want help with that before you get out of here too. Because we can definitely set something up.
Yeah. Part of it is I've never done it. So.
Oh, yeah. I got you, dog.
All right.
Yeah, we got this. Elliot Hamilton, everyone. Thank you for coming today, brother.
Hey,
yes. Good luck with everything.
All right.